Alright, baby, look. The Legend of the Indian Paintbrush. The Legend of the Indian Paintbrush. Many years ago, when the people traveled the plains and lived in a circle of teepees, there was a boy who was smaller than the rest of the children in the tribe. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't keep up with the other boys, who were always riding, running, shooting their bows, and wrestling to prove their strength. Sometimes his mother and father worried for him. But the boy, who was called Little Gopher, was not without a gift of his own. From an early age, he made toy warriors from scraps of leather and pieces of wood, and he loved to decorate smooth stones with the red juices from berries he found in the hills. The wise shaman of the tribe understood the little groper had a gift that was special. Do not struggle, little groper. Your path will not be the same as the others. They will grow up to be warriors. Your place among the people will be remembered for a different reason. Everyone has a special place, baby. Look at those teepees. And in a few years, the little groper was older. He went out to the hills alone to think about becoming a man. For this was the custom of the tribe, and it was there that the dream vision came to him. The sky filled with clouds, and out of them came a young Indian maiden and an old grandfather. She carried a rolled up animal skin, and he carried a brush made of fine animal hairs, and pots and paints. The grandfather spoke. "My son, these are the tools by which you shall become great among your people. You will paint pictures of the deeds of the warriors and the visions of the shaman, and the people shall see them and remember them forever." The maiden unrolled a pure white buckskin and placed it on the ground. "Find a buckskin as white as this," she told him. "Keep it, and one day you will paint a picture that is as pure as the colors in the evening sky." And as she finished speaking, the clouds cleared, and the sunset's great beauty filled the sky. Little Groper looked at the white buckskin, and on it saw colors of the bright and beautiful as those made by the setting sun. Then the sky slowly sank behind the hills, and the sky grew dark, and the dream vision was over. Little Groper returned to the circle of the people. Sorry, baby, hold on 1 second. Okay. So see, he's returning home to his teepees. The next day he began to make a soft brushes with the hairs of different animals, and stiff brushes from hair of horsetails. He gathered berries and flowers and rocks in different colors and crushed them to make his paints. He's starting to make his tools. He collected the skins of animals, which the warriors brought home from their hunts. He stretched the skins of wooden frames and pulled them until they were tight. He's making a place to paint. And he began to paint pictures of great hunts. Of great deeds. Of great dream visions, so that the people would always be remembered. But even as he painted, little Groper sometimes longed to put aside his brushes and ride out with the warriors, but always he remembered his dream vision, and he did not go with them. See, he wanted to go with everybody else, baby, but he remembered he had a special purpose in life. He was painting. Many months ago, he had found his pure white buckskin, and it remained empty, but he could not find the colors of the sunset. He used the brightest flowers, the reddest berries, and the deepest purples from the rocks, and still his paintings never satisfied him. They looked dull and dark. He began to go to the top of the hill each morning and look at the colors that filled the sky and try to understand how to make them. He longed to share the beauty of his dream vision with the people. But he never gave up trying, and every morning when he awoke, he took out his brushes and his pots and his pans and created the stories of the people with the tools he had. One night, as he lay awake, he heard a voice calling to him, "Because you have been faithful to the people and true to your gift, you shall find the colors you are seeking. Tomorrow, take the white buckskin and go to the place where you watch the sun in the evening. There on the ground, you will find what you need." The next evening, as the sun began to go down, little Groper put aside his brushes and went to the top of the hill. As the colors of the sunset spread across the sky, and there on the ground all around were brushes filled with paint, each one a color of the sunset, little Groper began to paint quietly and quickly and surely, using one brush then another. As the colors in the sky began to fade, little Groper gazed at the white buckskin, and he was very happy. He had found the colors of the sunset. He carried his paintings down to the circle of the people, leaving the brushes on the hillside. Look at those. And the next day, when the people awoke, the hill was ablaze with color, for the brushes he had had taken root in the earth and multiplied into plants, the bright reds, oranges, and yellows. And every spring from that time the hills and meadows burst into bloom. And every spring the people danced and sang the praises, the little groper who had painted for the people. And the people no longer called him Little Groper, but he who brought the sunset to the earth. Author's note. The lovely red, orange, yellow, and even pink Indian paintbrush blooms in profusion throughout Wyoming, Texas, and the High Plains, and has many stories connected with its origin. The story of the Native American artist who has desired to paint the sunset was particularly meaningful to me as an artist. There are many times when I wish I could go out on the hill and find brushes full of exactly the color that I need. Who knows, someday maybe. The idea of doing a book on the spectacular wildflower came from my good friend Pat Henry. After she had seen my book, The Legend of the Blue Bonnet, which is the story of the Texas state flower. Pat is from Wyoming, where the Indian paintbrush is the state flower. Oh, I didn't know that, baby. The Indian paintbrush is the state flower. Coincidentally, Carolyn Sylvan from Austin, Texas, had recently sent me a copy of the Texas Wildflower Stories and Legends, a collection of artists by Ruth D. Isley, which originally appeared in the Austin American Statesman. Carolyn is a teacher in the Austin area, and in 1965 the collection was made available to teachers. Therefore, with the unit on Texas trees and wildflowers, she too had read the Blue Bonnet book and knew of my deep interest in folktale and legend. The Indian paintbrush is a familiar flower to Texas, and in the book I came across a brief and interesting account of how the wildflowers got its name. I connected Miss Izzy's and she generously gave me permission to use her article as the main source of my retelling of the legend of the Indian paintbrush. So I would like to thank Pat Henry for suggesting the book, Caroline Sullivan for sending me the collection of legends, and Ruth Izzy for giving me inspiration from her collection. I would also like to thank the acknowledgement Lady Bird Johnson, the former First Lady, whose untrailing efforts have not only made her home state of Texas a symphony of colors with its wildflower, but has encouraged other states throughout the country in the preservations and growing of native wildflowers to beautify the countryside. T.Dep.N.P. So that's the book. I didn't realize the Indian paintbrush was the flower that they're talking about. But that's a beautiful book, baby. Alright. Let's do Very Worried Walrus. Very Worried Walrus. It's your fault. Excuse me? I'll fix it. I'm hungry. I doubt it. Vroom! I'll do it tomorrow. I feel fine. Me too. I want. How much? I love you. Sigh. No. Nay. Yes. Question mark. Busy. I know everything. I'll hold my breath. Things aren't what they used to be. I'm gorgeous. I'm worried. I'm not allowed. yuck, 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 yuck. I do it my way. Here they are, sweet pickles. Oh, look at this. It's your fault, says the alligator. Excuse me, says Bear. I'll fix it, says Camel. I doubt it, says the dog. I'm hungry, says the elephant. Vroom, says the fish. I'll do it tomorrow, says the goose. I feel fine, says the hippo. Me too, says the iguana. I want, says the jackal. Hee-haw, says the kangaroo. I love you, says the lion. Sigh, says the moose. No, says the nightingale. No, 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 says the octopus. Yes, says the pig. Question mark, says the quail. Busy, 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 says the rabbit. I know everything, says the stork. I'll hold my breath, says the turtle. Things aren't what they used to be, says the unicorn. I'm gorgeous, says the vulture. I'm worried, says the walrus. Not allowed, says the Xerus. Xerus? Yuck, 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 says the yak. I do it my way, says the zebra. There you go. Sweet pickles. Did you see all that, baby? Look. So much fun. This sweet pickle book. Very Worried Walrus. He's the Very Worried Walrus. Let's see what this walrus is up to. I'd really like to ride this bike, said Walrus, but I'm afraid I'll fall off. No, you won't, said Pig. Don't worry. There's a lot to worry about, sighed Walrus. If I fall off, I'll get hurt. Then I'll have to go to the doctor, and I'll need medicine and bandages or stitches. Oh, that's silly, laughed Pig. Bicycle riding is fun, and there is no reason to worry. That's all right for you to say, gulped Walrus. You're not about to get up on this bicycle. There's so much to worry about when you're up on a bicycle, and awful lot can go wrong. You have to steer and pedal and balance. When you look out in front of you and on both sides and make sure no one is behind you, and not go too fast, and use your brakes. Those are all good things, right? You used to have a red balance bike that Mama got you, and then you had a big girl bike with pedals, and you had a small bike. You had all kinds of bikes. Mama and Papa had bikes. And you can still crash and bump and fall and slip and slide and get hurt. Oh my. Look at him thinking about it. Look at him thinking about falling. He's worried. He is one worried walrus, huh? And if you get hurt, they'll have to take me to the hospital in an ambulance. I can see it now. There's a traffic jam on Main Street. The ambulance gets stuck. The driver, Radius, the police to send the helicopter to get me out. Oh my goodness, look at this man. He's thinking about the ambulance, and he's going to need a helicopter, and he's going to need police, and he's going to need help to get out. Oh my, look at this walrus. Right? When the helicopter arrives, there's no place to land, so the pilot lowers the rope. Then the ambulance driver ties the stretcher to the rope, and the helicopter goes up. Look at this walrus. He thinks that he's going to get a helicopter and an ambulance and a policeman, and the helicopter is going to have to drop string to bring him all the way up, baby. Look at that. Up and up and up over the rooftops and out towards the river. There I am hanging on the end of a rope attached to a helicopter flying over the water. Look at this. Look at the walrus. He thinks he's going to get an ambulance ride and a policeman and a helicopter, and he's going to be up in the air now, and he's going to be flying over the town. What an adventure this walrus is thinking about having. And the rope snaps. Look at this walrus. The rope snaps. Down I go, down, 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 splash. Into the river. It's cold. I swim and swim. Now this man was so hurt that he needed an ambulance ride and he needed a helicopter, and now he's swimming in the cold. Finally, a tugboat passes and it picks me up. But the tugboat is going in the wrong direction, and by the time I get off, I am miles away from home. This walrus has quite the imagination, huh? And the last train has left and the buses aren't running. Oh my. So I start walking and it's cold and it's getting dark and my sweater is dripping and my shoes are just going splash, splosh, splish. And it starts to rain and I'm so tired and it's really dark now and I'm hungry and there is nothing around, no houses, no people, nothing, and he thinks like your papa, huh? Oh my. Hey, walrus, called Pig. Stop worrying so much. It's a beautiful day, the sun is shining, the flowers are blooming. Think of the fun you'll have riding that bicycle. She thinks like Mama. Walrus looked at Pig. Then he looked at the bicycle. Well, maybe, he said. Maybe it will be all right. Maybe it will be. I guess I'll try. Like a walrus thinking, though. He's thinking about the tragedy that just happened inside of his head. Walrus got on the bicycle and balanced. He pedaled. He looked ahead. He looked at the sides. Whee! He shouted. This is fun. He went faster. He looked behind him. He ran into a tree. Oh my. Oh no. What do you think's gonna happen, baby? Crash! He ran into the tree. Walrus laid on the ground. He thought about the ambulance and the helicopter and the tugboat. Hey, Walrus, called Pig. You okay? Walrus stood up and brushed himself off. He looked down at his feet. He felt himself all over. Then he looked at Pig and smiled. Don't worry, he said. I'm fine. See, baby, look. Your head can make one situation turn into something it's not. This book is a great example of that. Your papa worries a lot like Walrus does, and I'm a lot like Miss Pig, who's just like, we got this, everything's good, and I move on from everything. I always wave everything away, you know that. So, but Walrus is a worry. Your papa worries like that. Like, I worry about, like, the bookshelf falling down. That's why I tell you not to climb it. Or, like, tell you not to go get the fake camera to tap on the bookshelf because I don't want the bookshelf to fall down on you. I worry too, but Papa, it does go to extremes with worrying. He's like, we were going down to the dentist, right? And I was pregnant with you. And it was raining outside, and the windshield wipers weren't working, and your papa was driving the red Jeep that we used to have, and we're going down to see Dr. Williams, the dentist, and he's going, we're gonna die. That's what your papa's saying. We're gonna die. And I told your papa, we're not. We're okay. I promise you. We're okay. And I'm pregnant with you. I'm spraying the spray bottle outside the window. And I'm moving the windshield wipers. And we were okay. We made it to the dentist. We made it down the hill. We made it back. And we were completely fine. Alright? We were completely fine. A lot of our situations are just like that. If it's raining outside and your papa's driving, sometimes your papa's going to get really, really, really worried. And I know you're a lot like me, so you're going to be like, it's okay, Papa. See, your blood type is B positive. And you got the positive from me. You got the positive blood type from me. But your blood type is B positive. You have the best blood type in the entire world. So I know you're not gonna be over worried about anything. I know you're gonna be okay. But this book is a great example of what your head can turn a fall into. Look at this. See how he's crashing into that tree? And see how he's falling? And then look, that ambulance is there and that lady's going to pick him up on the stretcher. Alright, and then he thinks he's going to make it to the hospital, but there's going to be a traffic jam, so he's not going to make there. See the policeman? The blue bunny? I think that's a policeman, huh? I don't know. He meant it was the police. Maybe the police aren't actually in this stuff. And then he's on a helicopter, and he's flying up into the air. And that... he's outside the helicopter flying in the air. That's how he thinks he's going to be, right? And then he thinks that helicopter string's going to break and he's going to wind up in the water. He's not going to be able to swim. And then someone on the tugboat's going to have to pick him up. And then he's going to land someplace so far away from home he's not going to be able to get back, baby. Right? Look at him worried. He's worried that it's going to rain. He's going to be all by himself. But watch. When he crashes... he did. He crashed into the tree because he wasn't paying attention because he was worried about everything else. He fell down. But he was okay. Right? Some things in real life are harder to get back from than something in a storybook. But eventually, everyone gets their lives back, okay? Eventually, everything's going to be okay. I know Mama does... well, what's the worst thing that could happen? And Mama doesn't always think things out, or Mama believes in other people more than what she should, and I do. I go, well, what's the worst thing that could happen? And this is all going to be okay. Mama doesn't always understand the severity of situations. I think everything's just no big deal, where your papa thinks things are a really big deal all the time. And I think that was from being around him and him exaggerating things so much that I've been like, oh, well, can't be that big of a deal. Nothing really can be. This one was a big deal, baby, and Mama is so sorry she's not there with you. But all you need to know is that Mama loves, loves, loves you. Okay, Mama loves, loves, loves you. And no one can fix the past, but we can work on a better future together. Okay, and just know I love you. I love you to the ends of the earth, and I always will, because you'll always be my baby. And one day, all of this is eventually gonna be okay, okay? I can't change the past. I can't fix the past. No one could go back in time. Mama thought that certain people would figure things out within a day or two. I didn't think... I didn't know that this was a big deal, for one. For two, I didn't think that, Mama thought that certain people had certain jobs, and it turns out that they don't. And, I didn't know what was happening, that's all. So Mama missed some time, but Mama's trying to get it back. Mama just loves you to pieces. Mama just loves you to pieces. And it's all gonna eventually be okay. And, yeah. That's my books for tonight for you, baby. Mama just loves you. I'm so glad I read this one. This one was such a good book. The Very Worried Walrus. That was such a good book. And it just shows what your mind can do. Perception isn't reality, baby. Perception is perception. And that's why it's so good to have video and voice recordings of things. Because perception isn't reality. So remember, if you perceive something and it's such a big, big deal, sit back, think about it a little bit more. Digest the information, know that you're okay. Okay, you're gonna be okay. Everything's gonna eventually be okay. Mama loves you.